Does Bo Nix believe that he has done enough to be named QB number 1 for the Denver Broncos? Plus, one of our fan favorites here in the Mile High City got married up in Boulder, Colorado. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for August 19th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
Denver Broncos win 27-2 against the Green Bay Packers. And no, in fact, it was not a scoregami, even though a lot of people were saying so. Team report, Eric Delilah says not scoregami before. So that 27-2 was nice and pretty, though, on the scoreboard for fans to see Bo Nix in person for the very first time at Empower Field at Mile High, and he did not disappoint. Obviously, the Broncos played their starters, and the Packers did not, but the Broncos jumped out to a 10-0 lead, and fans were excited. We heard a lot of cheers down there at Empower Field. 2 turnovers by the Broncos defense, which was also very, very nice to see. Sean Clifford threw an interception that led to a Denver touchdown just before halftime. And then Michael Pratt lost the ball on a strip sack, leading to the Broncos field goal that made it 20-0 in the third quarter. Green Bay finally got the 2 points on the board thanks to a sack and safety by Zach Morton. But Bo Nix looked good, and the storyline that everybody was talking about was the Broncos found their quarterback number 1. They found QB number 1. You had RG3 talking about it. You had everybody, Chase Daniels, diving into the stats. And yeah, it looked pretty dang good. Bo Nix goes 8 of 9, 80 yards, 8.9 average, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, but that rating of 140.7. Chef's kiss out there for sure. But we also got to talk about the other quarterbacks, because it seems like it's the battle of the backup now between Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson. And if you would have asked a lot of us, we would have easily said Jarrett Stidham was going to be the backup. Zach Wilson hasn't looked relatively that bad out there in some of the preseason games either. Poor Jarrett Stidham, he definitely got the short end of the stick, it felt like, going 7-11, 65 yards. The 1 interception definitely hurt. 0 touchdowns. But then Zach Wilson going 2 of 6, 29 yards, 1 touchdown, and not fumbles, but ratings for an 89.6. Again, neither one of them played relatively good, and that's why it comes down to now essentially the battle of the backup. You know who your starting quarterback is going to be, but it's not necessarily who's going to be the backup. So will they roll with 3 quarterbacks? Are they going to stay with just 2? I don't know what Sean Payton's going to do, but it is going to be interesting as we continue into the 3rd preseason game against the Cardinals coming up here in just a little bit. But what does Sean Payton have to say about the quarterbacks, especially Bo Nix, because he got a little spicy at the podium saying, "We're done talking about Bo Nix." Take a listen.
Coach, you told Katie Adams the band still has to play a couple more times, using that metaphor, knowing it's not done yet. How's the band sounding? How are things progressing?
Listen, all right, putting the cap on the both questions right here. The band sounds pretty good. I'm not dancing. Listen, there are a lot of things we did well as a team. All right, I'm not announcing a starter. And I told you I'll get with you when we do.
Sean, how challenging, or what kind of...
Oh, he was a little sassy. He was done talking about it. He knows everybody's waiting for him to announce who's it actually going to be, and it's not going to come until they make all of their final cuts. And I guarantee that is going to be what ends up happening. So yeah, we can probably stop asking him. He'll probably get it all throughout practice this week, but we're not going to see any starter named anytime soon. But it goes back to what he talked about even earlier in training camp of like, there's still a lot of other position battles that are going at it right now. And so it's not fair to announce one and not any of the others. And to be honest, I kind of do respect it. So while I'm ready for Bo Nix to be named QB number 1 starter in Seattle, I do get the process. So not too much hate on Sean Payton for me on this one. Also, John Elway is the only Broncos rookie QB to ever start in week 1, but don't forget that he was traded. So if Bo Nix becomes the starter week 1, he will be the first ever Broncos drafted rookie, in fact, to start, which is a pretty dang cool stat right there. But does Bo Nix think that he's done enough to earn the starting job? Well, take a listen. And then also you got to enjoy this one. He got asked about the touchdown that got called back. I love seeing his goofy side on this answer.
Bo, do you think you've done enough to earn the starting quarterback job?
That's not for me to decide.
Do you feel confident, though, in what you've done in 2 preseason games? Do you feel good about the body of work?
Yep.
Yeah, Bo, just talk about the one play that was called back, the touchdown pass. Did you know you were probably over?
When I looked to the side, I kind of had a feeling, but they didn't throw a penalty, so I thought I got by. But instant replay. So.
I love the fact that you see both his super serious side from Bo Nix, but also his like slightly goofy side, talk about that instant replay and how it just gets you sometimes. We've seen Bo Nix be very serious. We've seen him, not really want to answer any questions about some of the things going on. And so it was pretty fun to be able to see him go back and forth just on the attitudes. And I mean, the excitement he had to feel yesterday with so many Knicks jerseys in the stands and obviously played a stellar game. It's all very, very fun to see Bo Nix kind of take everything in for the very first time as a Denver Bronco. Will Peterson will be on with me today. No Marilat Monday. Unfortunately, James is sick, but we're going to be talking about how much we put into the fact that the Broncos did not play against any starters. Yeah, Bo Nix looked good, but can he look good against the number ones? We'll dive into that topic. Come join us and let us know what you in fact think. Also, I have to shout out my friend Brady King. Love her. She is the absolute best. And her daughter has gone viral on social media so many times. And yesterday was no exception because Courtland Sutton did something that every fan dreams of when it comes to, and that is in fact holding somebody's baby. Take a look.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, bud.
I literally cannot. I cannot. If you watch Brady, she's on Channel 7. She's absolutely amazing. She's so stinking cute. Just had her daughter, obviously, not too long ago. Oh my gosh, Courtland Sutton. Are you kidding me? It is the cutest darn video. I loved that for her. Oh my God. I was like obsessed with it. I was like, Brady, are you kidding me? The NFL has now picked it up. Courtland Sutton really seems to be enjoying himself too. We will have tomorrow an episode of Coffee Break. I'm going to go over my 10 observations on what I learned from the Broncos-Packers game. And you guys, it is so stellar because Courtland Sutton was having so much fun yesterday. And it's so, so cool to see him back out there with the attitude and just enjoying and living it up. I'm so happy all the contract stuff is over with and he's just looking forward to the season. So we will have that tomorrow on Coffee Break as well. Last thing we got for the Broncos today, but Coach Prime is also liking those Broncos new uniforms. And I have to agree. I love the orange pants. I love the white jerseys. I think that the orange pants, white jersey combo is better than the all white for sure, but they look solid out there. So I am agreeing with Coach Prime on this one. Loving those new Broncos unis. All right, we got to talk about the former Broncos quarterback, Russell Wilson, because he stepped out under center for the first time for the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday night, making his preseason debut in black and gold. And Wilson was sacked on each of the Steelers' first 3 possessions. Yeah, buckle up, Steeler fans. I'm sorry. But by the end of the first quarter, the Steelers had -5 passing yards because these 16 yards accumulated on 4 completions in 4 attempts were more than outweighed by the yardage lost in sacks. Eventually, the Steelers offense found its footing. Russell Wilson completed 4 of the 6 second quarter attempts for 31 yards. He guided Pittsburgh into scoring range once, but unfortunately, they end up missing the 52-yard field goal attempt, ending the threat to put points on the board. In case you remember, the Broncos allowed 45 sacks last year. Russell Wilson obviously being known for getting himself in some trouble. And one thing that we noticed between Russell Wilson last year and Bo Nix this year is when they leave the pocket, Russell Wilson would always run this way to the sides, right? That's how you get yourself into some trouble. But we're seeing Bo Nix run north to south. And that is, in fact, how he is getting himself out of trouble as well. And he's fast and he's fun. And I'm happy to see it. Of course, we'll end up seeing Russell Wilson if he is named the starter in week 2, the Broncos' first official home game that is not a preseason game. So we'll look forward to seeing that. And maybe he'll put himself in a few sack positions for sure. All right, another one we got. Just because it's a name that everybody knows, Randy Gregory. I remember when he played for the Denver Broncos. Well, the Bucs also signed him, but they are planning to release the veteran pass rusher, but it's because he never showed up for camp, and nobody really knows why. Of course, we have to remember that Randy Gregory was suing the NFL essentially, and the Denver Broncos were named in it. We have not heard any more information on it, but Gregory had signed a 1-year, $3 million deal with the Bucs in the offseason, but because he never reported to camp, Todd Bowles said he has no idea why he never showed up. I'll never find out, but I wish him the best, and we'll move on from there. So he's suing the NFL for discrimination and claiming he was denied anxiety medication prescribed to him by by a doctor. So definitely, I wish Randy Gregory all of the best. I feel like this is a really unfortunate matter just because, he probably wanted to play football, but when you're also suing your employer, I feel like things get a little more hard to say. Let's just go with that. So wishing Randy Gregory all of the best on whatever that venture looks like, and we'll keep you guys updated on any new information that comes out with that lawsuit for sure. All right, last one we got for you in the NFL, but the Los Angeles Chargers staged an awkward moment during a preseason game on Saturday against the Los Angeles Rams. During a kiss segment, a proposal was shown that went horrifically wrong. Truthfully, an absolute nightmare. Not only was the man proposing turned down, but another fan collided with him and dumped his drink and nachos on him. Take a look. The incident went viral, but it was later discovered that the people were paid actors. Why are we even doing this? I cannot wrap my head around the fact that we are paying people to get on the Jumbotron and say, hey, look at this. I got nachos dumped on me in a drink after I didn't get engaged. I think this is so stupid. We've seen it a ton. We've seen the Chargers do it a bunch, right? They had the girl that was like freaking out last year. They called her the super fan. Find out she's a paid actor. I think it's so stupid. I'm so over it. I'm curious your guys' opinions too. Just seems outrageous that we are doing this and we have stooped so low. So the Chargers, I'm giving you a major F for all of this stuff that we are seeing coming out of SoFi Stadium over there. To the NHL we go, because here's some fun ones. Cale Makar got married this weekend in Boulder, Colorado. Congratulations to him. He married his longtime girlfriend, Tracy Evans. Looked absolutely beautiful that they had a band out there, and there were also plenty of teammates in attendance. Josh Manson was there, Gabriel Landeskog, Nathan McKinnon, Eric Johnson, Andrew Cogliano, Bowen Byram, both former and current teammates. So really cool to see all of them out there. I like all of the hats too. They went with a country theme. Seems like welcome party for the night before. And then, had the beautiful wedding on Saturday up in Boulder, Colorado. No better place to do it for sure. To the Rockies we go because they honored Todd Helton over the weekend in a special ceremony at Coors Field. Helton threw out the ceremonial first pitch, and fans received a special Todd Helton bobblehead, which is pretty dang cool as well. Former Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning was in attendance. We know that they are actually best buds, which is really, really cool. Helton was actually Manning's backup quarterback at the University of Tennessee before starting his MLB career, and Helton was inducted into the Hall of Fame last month. Just the second Rockies player to ever be enshrined in Cooperstown. So really, really cool stuff. Tons of videos, you guys. We had tons of pictures. There was so much to get to from over the weekend. I appreciate you guys, as always, for spending a little bit of time. Should we get to some of these comments? Let's see them. Okay. First of all, I love all of, please keep them coming. Happy Monday, Rachel. Great news. We found our QB. Hallelujah. I tweeted out yesterday. I said the future is here with an emotional emoji. It's here, you guys. We finally have our quarterback. How much stock, though, are you putting into the fact that he played against the number twos? I mean, he looked stellar. That was great. He looked good last week against the Colts. But how much are you okay, there's still going to be a lot of rookie mistakes that we're going to have to go and figure out and all that kind of jazz. I saw a lot of people talking about stop the penalty madness. Yes. Listen, for Bo Nix to be successful out there too, they cannot have this many penalties on either side of the ball. Absolutely insane. Sean Payton talked about that yesterday post-game of we got to clean those up. It was the same thing in Indianapolis. Too many penalties. Those are the things that they need to do. Sean Payton also mentioned that maybe they need to step it up and practice a little bit more on calling all of these guys, making sure nobody's lining off offsides. Because, at practice, it doesn't really matter. You're trying to figure out your routes, your footworks, all that jazz. But in fact, it actually does. You need to make sure that you are lining up on side, that there's no pulling of any jerseys because it can come back to bite you a little bit in the butt. So really fun to see that one. Let's see. Rachel, I was much happier with the orange pants combination. What did you think? Loved it. Love the new uniforms. I'm so here for them. Again, I was very skeptical at first. I was like, I just don't think I like it. the white jerseys, the orange pants look so solid. That's my number one right now out of all the combinations we've seen, which of course are only 2 of them, but I wasn't a huge fan of the white on white. I feel like it was just very plain, and I love having that orange. I will always resonate with the orange. Obviously, we got the orange jersey behind me. Like, I just love that. It's my favorite color, which is another reason I probably love it so much. So yeah, I was much, much, much happier with the orange pants and the white jersey. We believe, let's freaking go, or flip and go. Totally agreed. Let's see. Good morning, Rachel. I have one word for the Broncos. We need lots of work, but my word is encouraging. In fact, yes, indeed, encouraging is correct. They are not going to go out and win the Super Bowl this year, everyone. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they could, if Bo Nix continues to improve week by week by week, they could be a playoff team. You never know. Get into the wild card. 8-9 wins is not off of the table for this team by any means. It seems like they are having so much fun out there too, which always helps. If you have fun at your job, you're going to be better at your job. And that's just a a solid truth. So I'm excited for the Broncos season this year. Much more excited than I was last year at this time. Let me be completely real with you. Let's see. The uniforms looked great. Totally agree. Sharp uniforms. Love the orange pants. Yes. Okay. Those actors were dumb for sure. I'm glad we're all agreeing on the fact that this is so stupid. Like, why are we doing this? I don't understand what the Chargers are doing. Whoever decided to come up with this, we need a different game plan. Nobody wants to see it. It's stupid. It's nice to see a quarterback that we can finally build around. So true. I'm so happy, you guys. It was so much fun to be back out there at Empower Field. There's one thing that I will just never get over. And for the media, we're allowed out on the field after the game. And to go out there and stand and kind of take it in, I can't imagine what it was like for Bo Nix to watch. Like, you have 70,000 fans who are just screaming like crazy for you. And when you're down there, you realize how like small and insignificant you actually are. But it's bringing, it feels like, the Mile High City closer and closer together. We've been so lucky because we've had the Avs and the Nuggets, so it feels like the city has been close, but the Broncos really just seem to bring everybody even closer. So I'm really happy. It was so much fun to be down there. It was fun to be out on the field again. I'm happy about it, but that's going to do it for your Denver Sports Daily. There's plenty of good stuff to come this week, so make sure you guys check it out, denversports.com. There's lots of articles on Bo Nix if you want to check them all out, and I will see you guys at 12 p.m. for another episode of Coffee Break. We will be back, Will Peterson and myself. Like I said, how much are we putting into the fact that he played against the number 2s? Anything at all? Maybe a little. I think for me, just a little bit, but don't be mad at me. I'll see you guys at 12 o'clock. Bye, everybody.